Hey everybody, it's SmallgGay, talented amateur citizen pundit. I get my talented amateur status from Emma Peel, played by the delectable Diana Rigg. The parakeets are really acting up again. You'll just have to bear with me in my parakeet dominated abode. A lot of feminists are angry that Emma Peel is a talented amateur. They don't understand that amateur is a class of detective in detective fiction. That an amateur detective is a detective who's not paid, is not part of the police. Miss Marple, for example, is an amateur detective. Nancy Drew was an amateur detective. The Hardy Boys were technically amateur detectives, although I think that they were paid by their father, which kind of changed it, but you get the picture. If they're just doing it out of their own, nosiness or sense of honor, or they just get involved in it, they're amateur. And Emma Peel, in the first episodes, she is amateur, but she does become, over the course of the series, a regular member of the Avengers. And I kind of identify with that because I'm amateur as well. I'm an amateur pundit, and I don't really want to become professional, even though I'm good enough, just like Emma Peel is. Diana Rigg was so fabulous and is so fabulous. She's my favorite kind of diva in that she is just naturally a star. Doesn't have to try. She deigned to appear in the Avengers. Didn't like the fans, how kinky and weird they were, so she withdrew, and then did projects as she liked over the years. She's smart. Close to mom. She was always close to her mother. Lovely, lovely woman. Natural beauty. Natural knockout beauty. And wit. I'm of the generation where we were Emma Peel Avengers fans, and Emma had a quality that none of the other Avengers, women or men, had. Well, Patrick did, as Stieg, he had it, but not as strong as Diana had. Diana had wit. And her shows are very funny and very witty and clever. The Avengers is fascinating in that it's really about the conflict between during the Rigg years. It's about the conflict between modernism and traditionalism. It's very entertaining in that regard. If you've never seen it with that in mind, you should rewatch it because that's definitely the dynamic that's at play in most of those episodes. Steed is the traditionalist, and Peel is the modernist. And Steed, if you notice, his home is all very traditional and decor, and he wears classic designers from Savile Row. And he carries the umbrella and the pocket squares and the bowler hats, and he's very much the old school gentleman. He's genteel and has the old world manners and charm. Whereas Peel is a modernist. Her home is avant-garde. Her clothing is avant-garde. You're likely to find Emma Peel painting a modern painting or an abstract sculpture. I love the one where she's carving the abstract sculpture. She's experimental, Emma Peel is, and feminist, and dynamic. Also, both characters are pro-capitalist, by the way. There's no socialist undertone to the Avengers, refreshingly. Look at Emma's outfit here. This is Alan Hughes. I know a lot of lesbians prefer the first season Emma, where she was in the leather jumpsuits. Those were knockoffs of Kathy Gale's character, and I prefer Emma in her Technicolor. Well, there wasn't really Technicolor, but her full color Alan Hughes mod outfit. Look at this touch here. It's so hilarious and charming and whimsical. The pocket watch attached to this, space-age cat suit. That shows, the conflict between traditionalism and modernism, which was very much at issue in the 1960s. You can hear the birds. They're just going to torment me all night long. I can tell. Anyway, you need to see all of my friends in the. This is something that I just really came to terms with in the libertarian, independent, conservative, Republican, objectivist, classical liberal. It's turning into political correctness. I mean, when are we going to wheel out the Republicans in wheelchairs? Okay, I'm kind of getting sick of having to say all that. Okay, all of you guys on the right, or center right, or beyond right. See? It gets so crazy. You know? It's just ridiculous. Non-statist. Everybody's got this special status. Anyway, you guys should really watch the episode where the Avengers have to team up with the Russian Avengers. I think it's called The Correct Way to Kill, wherein a Russian agent is murdered by a all-male charm school called Snob, and the Avengers have to team up with the Russian Avengers. And Anna Quayle, the brilliant character actress, British character actress from the 1960s, she's still around. Her greatest moments were in the 1960s, both on the Avengers and in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, she played the Queen, and in Stop the World, I Want to Get Off. She was an avant-garde actress, but she was terrific in comedy. Oh, she's also in Smashing Time. She's terrific in that, too. She's the one who has the zany boutique called Too Much. Yeah, she's just fabulous. She plays a Russian agent, a big Russian agent named Olga, who Emma Peel condescendingly calls Olga from the Volga. And she's constantly taking Steed to task for being a decadent Westerner. The portrayal of the communists in the Avengers is one of the all-time great send-ups of leftism. The communists are portrayed as childlike, completely humorless, completely literal-minded, and any type of joy or happiness they have to deride and get all judgmental, childishly judgmental over, even as they envy it. It's brilliant satire. And all through the episode, Olga is so tempted by Steve, and she almost falls in love with him. And she has to go back to Russia at the end, and after deriding the West all through the episode, Steed and Emma get together for their weekly champagne toast, and Emma says, "Oh, a decadent capitalist touch." It's so delightful. It's really delightful. The Avengers was a pro-capitalist show. You should definitely check it out if you've never seen it before, and you should watch it again. I feel like watching it again right now. It's ironic because there's a new series out now of the Stieg Larsson books. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo is the first one, and then The Girl Who Played with Fire, and then The Girl Who Kicked the Hornet's Nest. Now, these are leftist books, but I still kind of feel that vibe of the Avengers in that you have Blomkvist, the journalist, who's the older character, the older male character, who is more of a traditional leftist in that he is an investigative reporter. And then you have Elizabeth Salander, who is more of an anarchist, feminist, radical, cyberpunk hacker girl. And it's intriguing, too, because it's almost like the first period piece that we've gotten from that. It's very kind of 90s Rage Against the Machine cyber, kind of, with the piercings and everything. But despite the fact that it is kind of a paranoid leftist view of the world, I think a lot of you would like it if you haven't read them, because it's just so dynamic the way they combine all the different kinds of mystery. That one minute it's an Agatha Christie, the next minute it's like that movie Blow Up, the next minute it's like a feminist revenge thriller, the next minute it's Silence of the Lambs, and the next minute it's like a Nazi paranoia film. I'm talking about the film too. You should definitely check the film out if you haven't seen it. But there are references to great pop heroines like Emma Peel and Steed. There's also a reference to Batgirl, and that Salander has a photographic memory and is an ace with computers like Batgirl is in the comic books. They're just wonderful. There's references to Modesty Blaze. I really dug it. I really dug the movie, and the books are a little hard to get into at first because the writing is so dense. But there's definitely a reason why people are so into them. Like everything, whenever a book is really popular, there's always a reason why. And with the Stieg Larsson books, it's because the plots are so wildly unpredictable, like the Avengers was. Anyway, I could go on and on about how Emma Peel reminds me of Sarah Palin. I'll have to do that on another day. She definitely reminds me of Tammy Bruce, and listeners of that show know why. I love Emma Peel and Diana Rigg. SmallgGay signing out. Take care. If I can extricate myself from my Avengers book. Bye-bye.